get it.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Here we are again. Exactly the spot that we didn't want to be. We said it was a bit of a test. We said it was a bit of a benchmark game. And here we are again.
Monday was 5 years ago.
I know. And you know, we were robbed of that moment to give you a podcast after the best 60 minutes of the Matthews era. I will maintain that forever.
You, producer Adam, called me Monday night, and one of the things you said was, you know what? You got to give people permission to feel good about this, right?
I did say that.
I was already going to go, yeah, because they won and they smacked Tampa, and I don't like them. I don't like Brandon Hagel's face and how much it opens.
Nick Paul's aura.
Yeah. I'd like it on my team.
Yeah,
but I don't
sure.
like them.
Yeah.
And give people permission. And I was like, yeah, everybody, hooray. And then they got smacked by Columbus the next night.
Everybody's like, it's a back-to-back, though.
But it's okay. They're not going to do that again.
No, they couldn't.
Because the team that fired Chief, team that fired our coach, and...
Rough.
Holy shit.
Rough. Now, I want to quickly, before we get into everything that we're going to talk about,
yes.
Oshawa General's Peterborough Pete's, you can still buy tickets. Link is in the description. Let me say this. There's a lot of people who apparently were confused. Hey, do I need to get a ticket separately to the show or to the game? The $40 ticket is for both.
Yes.
That's how we do these. So when we do these OHL nights and we give you a price, it's for both. You never have to worry about that.
Not each.
I thought I said it on the show. Maybe I didn't. It did say it on the poster. So if I confused anybody, I apologized. But
and it wouldn't be the first time.
40. Yeah. At least I got the date right. It's this Sunday, and $40.
That's important.
Gets you into the game and gets you into the show, and we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. And here's the great thing about the Oshawa Generals. You see. The Oshawa Generals are loaded with first-round picks.
And they got more loaded the other day.
Who'd they get?
Was Callum Ritchie?
They got Callum Ritchie, yes.
Avalanche.
Yeah. Seneca, Barlow, Danford.
Yep.
They have we have a special guest, too.
Oh. Who's not one of those ones?
Not one of those ones, no.
No.
But they're cool. Just the same. Let that be your clue.
I find this... No,
Can I do something positive about the show?
Yeah.
We are also at all of our live shows recently. We've been giving away McFarlane toys, and we have more to give away on Sunday. We're going to be doing, I think, a Tage Thompson one.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one sitting on the table, Steve? You saw it.
Bedaddy.
Oh, Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
And then a Vegas Golden Knight one that we have as well.
There was a third one, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was a Stone and a Marshall Stone. But we also had a William Nylander one just sitting around. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we're giving this one away.
No, you got to give that away. You got to give that away like he gave the puck away on goal 3.
No. maybe I give it away to myself.
Yeah, I can see why Jesse would want that. And you
Yeah,
know what, Jesse? You deserve
jeez.
it. You deserve it.
Pretty beautiful.
Adam spitting fire.
I want to say that...
Do you think it looks like Willie? Like, how accurate do you think McFarlane got with this? I think it's pretty good.
Ooh, there's a little bit of salad.
Yeah,
there.
so they got the salad flowing on the toy.
And the
which
right
is
color
sick.
hair, too, like the right tinge of blonde.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
I just want to say Jacob Oster, who is a spectacular goalie. He is the 2024 OHL Goaltender of the Year. Will be joining us on the show in the evening after the Generals game. And by the way, this Generals team features talent like Ritchie, first rounder from Colorado, Barlow, first rounder from Winnipeg, Seneca, third overall to Anaheim, Danford, first round pick to Toronto, and Morelli, third rounder to Columbus. And I just want to also say that they're taking on the Peterborough Petes, who do not have the same amount of talent. And you know what happens usually when we cheer for teams with lots of talent against teams that don't have as much talent?
Well, it's not the playoffs, so I think we're okay.
Anyway, come join us in Oshawa on Sunday night. Now, I want to start the conversation here, and it's from Chris Johnson of the Chris Johnson Show on SDPN Sports.
Okay, for the listeners, Adam, who is that?
He's an up and coming reporter. We wish him well.
Canadian Press still?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He said, The Leafs power play, and this is midway through the game, is 13 for 121, dating back to February 27th, 2024. That's a 10.7 conversion rate over a meaningful amount of time with a group of players that had previously been among the NHL's best with the man advantage. And I'm going to add to that. It is now 13 for 122 because they did have another power play after that, which they did not convert on.
Well, Adam, I mean, you can move off the core, but who would you trade them for?
Dom Lucian. If I take a quick look back at my past schedules, and Steve, you mentioned this in the LFR, the Leafs had not lost a back-to-back regular season game by 4 goals or more since 2014-2015. You ran through some of the roster on that. Corbinian Holzer was dressed for the Leafs at that point.
David Booth, Tyler Bozak, Jake Gardiner, Peter Holland, Corbinian Holzer, Olli Jokinen. This is a rare Olli Jokinen game. He only played like a dozen games for them. Nazem Kadri, Phil Kessel, Leo Komarov, Brandon Kozin, 67. Joffrey Lupul, Richard Panik, Dion Phaneuf.
Panik at the disco.
Yes, Roman Polak, Morgan Riley has been through so much. Stefan Robida, Zach Sill, James Van Riemsdyk, and James Reimer.
A Leafs fan last night during the game threw a jersey on the ice during a TV timeout. Steven Lorentz grabbed it and brought it to his bench, and Steve didn't believe me. So I sent him the picture. Nick Alberga actually had the picture from the press box. It did happen. Jesse was there.
And Nick is like kind of he can be a shit disturber on Twitter.
Course,
so I texted him personally to be like, is this real? And like, I'm like, okay, how could this have been AI'd? Okay, I see Max Domi on the ice. I see all the Blues players listed on the scoreboard. It appears to be a Blues game. No, I don't believe it.
Now, Jesse, we talked about one side of the special teams coin. Let's talk about the other side of the special teams coin. I would like specifically to bring up your screen grab from last night. When we were just talking about one particular penalty killing instance. Now, remember, as Jesse's pulling this up, let's talk about what makes a great penalty, Steve Dangle. If you're a PK unit, what makes an all-star amazing PK unit?
A willingness to block shots.
Okay.
Positioning, discipline to that positioning and not biting on the bait that you are given. Speed and stick work also help.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great thing. How do you feel when you see this picture? Maddie, take us off the screen. You need to see that with all that white ice. Now, if you're listening to this show, this is the Dylan Holloway goal. On the power play. You got 2 Leafs down low in the corner digging for the puck. You also have, so that's a forward and a defenseman. You also have a forward and a defenseman within 10 feet of the scrum of where the puck is. And you've got Dylan Holloway all alone in front of the net. And I can't tell which defenseman that is right now for the St. Louis Blues. Suffice it to say, it doesn't matter because he's not covered.
You ever watch an episode of Dragon Ball Z and they're fighting and you're like, where the hell did they find this giant, flat, open space with no one in it? And I think they should start fighting at Scotiabank Arena. I think like Majin Buu and Goku and Vegeta, all of them should show up and just fight in between the space between Dylan Holloway and the nearest Leaf. Dude, this sucks.
Well,
that was 48 Scott Peronovich.
Oh. Listen, you can't leave Peronovich open.
Yeah, that's what they always say.
You know, that's what I've heard. When Peronovich is on the ice, you got to watch the F out.
That's what the pregame scouting report says.
He's a good player.
Nobody's saying he's not a good player.
Yeah,
I'm just making a joke, okay?
Can we point out, like, on top of everything, like, the Blue Jackets are so ridiculously shorthanded, and the Blues smack them without Robert Thomas. Boo, get off the stage. You suck. I don't know. It's early in the season.
Cheryl Pounder made a joke at intermission saying the Oilers were up 2-0 on the Leafs.
Yes.
Because Broberg and Holloway had scored.
Very funny.
Thought that was very funny.
With this penalty kill, like in just the image here of everybody being in the corner and leaving 2 guys completely unguarded. Nobody teaches you to play hockey like that. Like nobody, Craig Berube and the entire coaching staff in Toronto didn't tell them to do this. The problem with a play like this is the players on the ice. So it comes down to the personnel. And when you have a blatant mistake like this, there's nobody to blame but the four guys who decided to all go in the corner at once.
Well, I would like to apply this to the power play.
Hold on. I want to just say one thing. I
Okay,
want to
say
tell a
one
story,
thing.
minor hockey story, okay?
Okay, do it.
I played for the Toronto Young Leafs in my day.
What level?
Single A. That's the highest I got. And,
How old were you?
13, 14.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And so we were on the ice 5-6 days a week.
Adam always downplays it, but like that's much higher hockey than most people.
Yeah, but I didn't get to like double A, triple A,
Yeah,
whatever,
but
like a
still.
lot of my friends did. And they were
like the gas
they were
difference.
really good. Yeah. And so Jesse, you made a really good point there. What did you say about power plays or penalty kills?
What?
They don't teach that at any level.
No. Yeah, they don't teach four guys to go in the corner together.
So
yeah,
my coach at the time was a firefighter, and he, in his younger years, had gotten his bottom teeth knocked out in a hockey game because our parents' generation didn't wear masks and didn't wear helmets. Actually, right? Like my dad, when he played hockey, did not wear a mask or a helmet. He had leather skates. Like that's what we're talking about. And so this coach, to get our attention, used to like to take his dental implants and pop them out whenever we did something stupid. That moment brought me back to that. So I can remember doing a shorthanded drill.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey guys, and we were like, ugh.
That's
Just to
an
wake you
old
up?
man thing to do.
He loved it, Jess. Like he got such a kick out of it.
Yeah.
But it was like, whatever I got to do to remind you. And his thing was always forward, high, and he'd make us say it back. He'd be like, what did I just say? And we'd be like, forward, high. And so whenever I see the Leafs do that and they collapse, and I know that they've changed the PK somewhat over the years and whatever, they are always collapsing and there's never a forward high. And if you bring that back up, Maddie, for just a second, forward high, all the forward needs to do there, and I think that's Matthews, is stand between Baranovich and Holloway. Just stand at the top of that red circle right there. That's it. And he's in position. Even if, I think that's Chris Tanev down deep, even if Chris Tanev isn't in place, at least Holloway is 50 or 60% covered.
That was probably his first, not the greatest game with the Leafs.
Yeah.
I mean, almost... If you look at a list of Leafs who were bad last night, it's almost exclusively all their best players.
Yes. And so I just wanted to illustrate, and I wanted to put an exclamation point on what Jesse said. Nobody ever taught them this.
No.
Nobody ever taught them this at any level.
This is why I want to apply it to the power play. Because they are, 13 power play goals for their last 122 attempts, dating back to the end of last February.
Yeah, and that includes the playoffs.
That's all of March, that's all of April, and all of the playoffs. And yes, 8 games this season. Mark Savard was not around for the majority of those games. And this isn't me defending a guy who I used to work with at Sportsnet. I get it. It's me not wanting to. What? Why? I don't understand why we keep giving the benefit of the doubt. Guys, they took Riley off and that's it. It's the same group.
Yes, it is.
It's the same group.
Yes.
How many different coaches have coached this power play? Now, I know TSN did a breakdown and like scoring chances and shots and shot attempts are down on the power play. That's concerning. That needs to be fixed. But the problems with this power play predate the current group on the bench.
Yep.
It predates Savard. It predates Berube. It's the same. And but they, last year they finished. I don't care what the overall total was on the season. I think they ended top 5 still. I don't give a good goddamn. Every year, March, April, dead. They die. They die when the lights get brighter. They just do. And I guess now the concerning part is it's happening earlier. Like I just have such a difficult time blaming it on the coach when these guys have had. How many people have managed the power play in their tenure? It's at least 4.
Yeah.
It's their fault. They stink.
Jeff O'Neill said it's time to pull one of them off and hurt someone's feelings.
One of them.
I mean, the obvious choice for me, and we've been saying this on the show, is Tavares. And even if
I take everything away from him, and if Minton was healthy, I think I'd take away his roster spot.
if Tavares is and to be fair to him, he was very sick, lost 8 pounds. That's all out there. If you're not ready to go,
He's in.
then you're not ready to go.
He's in.
And so here's the thing. Okay, so maybe he is that sick. Why is he still on the unit that's expected to perform at their best when he is not performing at his best? And it's unfair, really, to just call him out on it. But I was talking to Frank.
No, he's brutal.
I texted Frank Corrado about it last night because I was like, dude, like, what was this? And so he's like, here's what I would do. Here's my power play 1, power play 2. He's like, I am not a fan of putting all your talent on one.
Yeah.
He's like, but I think they need it. And he said 34 Matthews, 23 Nyes, 11 Domi, 88 Nylander, 95 OEL. That's PP1.
Yeah, that is what almost every fan I've spoken to is screaming from the rooftop. That exact configuration of 5.
And then that means 16 Marner, 91 Tavares, 74 McMahon, 89 Robertson, and 44 Riley.
That's a great power play unit. It's a great power play unit. It's not a knock on any player on that group.
There's a lot of power play talent.
Yes. First unit tires them out. They get a few chances. They don't go in. Second unit comes out, and because they're good, they fucking score. Not what they currently have, which is this group of 5 tag-alongs goes out there and friggin' plays 25 seconds of fuck-around hockey and kick it into the corner and fish it out of theirs. What are we doing?
Jesse, I have a couple of lines of questions for you, but the first one starts with the mid to end second period. There was a little bit debate on the broadcast, and you would have missed this because you're at the game being a credentialed reporter.
Yes.
There was a bit of a debate about whether or not on the power play, fans were booing or saying shoot. Boo Earns moment. And it specifically had to do with Marner. But it could have been anybody, right? I'm not trying to target him.
His first shot of the game came with about 3 minutes to go in the second. I know that as a fantasy holder.
So, did you hear in the second period, from what you can recall, and I'm not going to hold you to this totally, boos or shoot?
No, I'm like, I can say 85% sure that they were boos, because there was a couple moments throughout the game where the crowd was booing. So I don't think it was shoot. I think it was boos.
They booed for most of the last 10 minutes.
There was a couple times on different power plays, not even that one, where when the puck leaves the zone, the crowd starts booing. And there was a couple times when it's circling, especially at the end of the game, like half the arena was empty. I took a picture of it because it was so, like, I've never seen Scotiabank like that. It was like 3 minutes to go. Everybody just kind of left, and the people who were left were booing.
It's the lights. I think they dread when they get a power play. Oh no. Now something is expected of me. Their power play is a microcosm. It's just a mini version of every spring. Everyone's depending on me to get the job done, and I don't. How else should you look at it?
And this is where so what I tweeted at the time when I think it was, I forget, was a third or fourth power play they had, because I want to know this. And I know you know Mark Savard, and we can be open about that. He gave you shit about how you taped your stick, and that was all fun and whatever.
He gave me shit about putting my elbow past.
It doesn't mean
on the
you guys
arm.
are like in touch to this day and you text each other regularly. You were coworkers for a minute.
I like him.
And I'm sure he's a great guy.
Sure.
What I want to know, though, is
I've had to carve Leafs I like.
what did Mark say to Leafs management to convince them that things were going to be different? Because what I have seen is the exact same. So who's running the power play? Is it Mark Savard or is it Brendan Shanahan?
Well, listen, he shoots left. I know that he's a pass first guy, so he probably likes a flatter blade. I'm not sure. I haven't seen his stick in a long time. That being said, I've never once seen him out there with them.
Mark Savard?
Yeah, during a game.
Well, but
dude, it's the same
Steve,
group.
But that's the problem. He's the coach, and he keeps putting the same group out there.
Yes, I don't like that.
That's my point.
I do
So
agree.
My
totally
question
agree.
is, Mark,
Totally agree.
what did you say to Brad? What did you say to Brendan, Pridham, and Shanahan? Mm-hmm. What did you say to these guys to get the job, man?
Now here's a question that I have. Savard does the strategy. Who makes the ultimate final decision of who's going out?
That'd be Chief, I think.
Yes. So There's a bit of a gray area there. My assumption is he would take
My
Savard's
understanding
advice.
is the way Craig Berube coaches is if he hires you as an assistant coach, he trusts you to make those calls.
Yeah, and
unless
this is
he
a guy
really needs to step in.
This is a guy he probably vouched for on account of they worked together in St. Louis.
Yes.
So yeah, no, listen. I like him very much. I'm allowed to criticize him. It's fine. That group of 5, we'll say 4, since OEL's been switched onto that, cannot continue. Cannot. I mean, a lot of people are screaming.
I like the OEL switch, but I think they're only 30% of the way there.
A lot of people are screaming to take Marner off that unit. I would do it too, but if I could only take one person off, dude, JT's been terrible.
Let's focus on that for a sec. Jesse,
He's been terrible.
what did you see from JT last night? And I'll come back to you, Steve.
I think he's getting healthier. Like, I feel like we were very critical of him in that week coming off the sickness, and it's because he was sick. You know, I think there's a
missed the game.
There's a bit of an excuse there for him, and I still don't think he's up to speed and where we expect him to be, and he's probably a step slower than he was in previous years, and I think that's probably going to be where he's at going forward, but he's definitely better than he was when he was losing 8 pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
But my question then becomes, and then Steve, we're coming to you because I know you got a lot to say here on this one, is if he's just getting better, why do we keep putting him out in spots where he needs to be the best?
I think because they don't have any other answers. Like, there's no other replacement for him at the time because of how the team is constructed. Like,
That is the unfortunate answer.
who are you trusting in those situations besides him? You know, it's if he's out there because Austin just had a shift. You know, and it's like, what is your other solution? I don't know. It's not Domi right now because he's playing a lot and he's carrying a lot of weight. And if you need a face-off, you need him out there, and he's gonna have to play minutes if he's dressed that night. So I don't know. I don't know who else comes in and fills in for him at the time. And if that is your problem, then you have a roster construction problem, and you need to solve that because the team's not good enough. And if the team's not good enough, then that's your problem.
And they're going to get 2 guys back, but when they get 2 guys back, first of all, they're bottom 6 guys. One of them is arguably middle 6 in Yarncroke and Dewar. And you're going to have to shift money around too. Like, So what we're talking about is they're not deep enough?
No, I think what we're talking about is they've got...
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, I think they've got a player that is going to be fine. I
When
think
the
Tavares is going to be fine.
When the Stars don't get it done, they're dead. So...
Well, I think part of the reason to have 4 stars is that if a couple of them have a bad night, the others are supposed to take it up. But what we
they
saw
were
last night...
to a man awful.
All of them were bad.
All 4. It's rare that you see all 4 just... stink.
But
they were bad.
That was the ethos that Dubas had, and I agree with that. It's like, what are the chances all 4 are going to be shit? Well, every game 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm joking. I'm being facetious.
No, but
you see what I'm saying?
But we always seem to be like, okay, one guy is recovering from an illness,
Yeah.
and the whole deck of cards falls down. How can you improve the depth of the team? Well, one suggestion I've heard whispered is don't be so damn top heavy, having 4 guys making that much. And here we are. And everything was on the table. You know, there was a great line that I meant to put in the LFR and I forgot to, and I was going to credit him. So I'm going to do it now. Producer Nick.
Who needs to start making some appearances on the CJ show.
Oh,
He's got great takes.
Anyone who has ever watched sports with a Portuguese person ever, that's Nick.
He's the best.
He's the
He's
best.
the absolute best.
He's every bit as fiery as me. I love seeing him pop up in the group chat. Like,
Oh, you know it's going to be good.
oh,
Yeah.
it's the best. It's the best. They said they're here to win, not sell sweaters. But all I saw was a new C to buy. Bar. I forgot to use that one.
Now,
Dude.
Jesse, go ahead.
Just before we move on from John Tavares, like I don't think it should go unnoticed that was the only goal they scored was the Tavares, Robertson, Lorentz line. But when you look at that line that scored the goal, it's like, did John Tavares think at this point in his Maple Leafs tenure and the contract that he big signed that hasn't even expired yet that his winger would be Steven Lorentz? You know, you look at that and it's okay. Nick Robertson's on the side. That's kind of reasonable, but like he's playing so low in the lineup.
Your left side's a nightmare.
And yeah, it's not good enough.
No,
you know, it's
and
not
it's
there.
far from being good enough. It's
Right.
not like let's get this guy back and we'll be good enough. Like Pacioretty is out with an injury, and he's not an everyday player. Like he's in the rotation right now. Robertson, he doesn't play there. Okay, so you got Nyes, who
Yarncroke can play there, but he's injured.
Yes.
Zeuer can play there, but he's injured.
Yes. Oh, well, it's all fucking fixed then. You know
Well,
what I mean?
No,
I
I'm not.
understand.
I'm not talking about top line talent, but I think ideally, Lorentz is a good player and energy or whatever. Sure. I think ideally, Yarncroke would be that guy.
I think, yeah, best case, it's like Nyes, McMahon, Yarncroke, Lorentz, or Dewar. Like if I had a party blower, I would blow it.
All right. It was
Like, dude, who cares?
it was David Alter who was sitting there, and he pointed out, and it was just before they scored, and then I was like, they scored, and you're laughing at that line, but he wasn't wrong that, hey, the guy who was on a PTO 2 weeks ago is now John Tavares' winger. Plus the guy who requested a trade and couldn't crack the lineup until he had a great preseason is his other winger. You know, and that's the point we've reached 8 games in.
Well, but it's interesting. Like Craig Berube has not been shy about criticizing his players, and Robertson's never been on the receiving end of that.
No,
he's never sat a game.
He's only complimented Robertson
Because Robertson works hard.
is working every time he's out there.
And I will say this, and this is, well, injuries are going to play a factor here. If they got to go back to the rotation and someone has to come out, you cannot scratch Robertson for this game. You can't. First of all, you have a goal scoring problem. Second of all,
For the Boston game?
yeah. Second of all, the whole reason I think the straw that broke the camel's back with the trade request is he was scratched for Game 7.
Yes.
You got to give him a chance at these.
Well, I also would say, Steve, that Robertson is bringing something that they need and that Berube needs, and maybe it's not goals right now, but Robertson's bringing. It
was last night.
It was last night, yeah, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was a nice little that got farted away by the rest of their performance. But his work ethic is that's what Craig Berube is asking, and I haven't seen a shift where he hasn't worked hard. There have been things that have gone wrong, and he still sometimes gets blown up.
yeah.
I just Nicholas, don't get killed.
no one's saying he's the second coming.
But that's
He's adequate.
100%. But sometimes it's just about a guy who's willing to put the extra effort in to show the other guys, hey, you don't want to be in the rotation? That's what you got to do.
High floor.
High floor. Because I think, again, somebody snarkily tweeted me on it's crazy. Somebody was snarky on Twitter.
Yeah, whatever.
Snarkily tweeted me Monday night when I said, like, that's the best 60 minutes I've seen this team play. And they're like, yeah, but the narrative will change when they're bad again. And look at this. They're bad again.
They've been outscored 11-3.
Yeah. It's not about
it's not about Monday was 5 years ago.
The hilarious thing about the way some people react to this stuff is they're like, well, you criticize them, so you must not like them or believe in them. That's the frustrating part about the Toronto Maple Leafs is there's so much to believe in. When they play like this, you shake your head and go, how? How does this happen? Yeah. And we know what the ceiling is. The Tampa game is the ceiling. That's fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. Why is the floor so low? And that has always been the problem. And so now you got a Boston team that has been struggling
and
need
a win like they need oxygen.
Jim Montgomery calling out Brad Marchand, and Brad Marchand going, he's right. Because that was a really stupid play against Dallas with Marchand. Like stupid.
Good for him. He played it the only way you could.
And he owned it.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Now, what happened last night? This is a question I have for Jesse. Jesse, from what I saw from your quotes on Twitter last night,
quotes from the players,
from the players,
coach,
quotes from the players, not Jesse quotes, not you.
Not my quotes.
Quotes from the players was that they owned it.
Yeah,
they said, yeah, we were bad.
Yeah,
and Matthew said it starts with me. Listen, I'm sick of hearing it, but at least they did that.
Right? They do it every time. Like, yeah, no, go ahead.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
Who'd you talk to? Did you talk to Austin?
Austin, one thing that holds true is that Austin has taken on the role of captain wholeheartedly.
I love that.
Every single time there's a game, no matter they win or lose, he's the first person out. He's talking to you and he's giving you the time of day.
So here's what I want to ask you. No, hold on. Hold on. This is my line of questioning. I need Jesse to answer this. Austin came out and spoke.
Yes.
Did John Tavares come out and speak?
No.
Did Morgan Riley come out and speak?
No.
Did Mitch Marner come out and speak?
No.
So here's what we got here. Camera on me, please. The Leafs have been outscored 11-3 in the last 2 games. And this foursome of leaders, the only person that comes out is Austin. Morgan Riley, assistant captain, doesn't come out and talk. John Tavares, assistant captain, doesn't come out and talk. Maybe he was like, I don't want to get anyone sick. Mitch Marner, assistant captain, doesn't come out and talk. William Nylander, not assistant captain, comes out after a really, really bad, embarrassing, get your ass on the bench giveaway, comes out and talks. Mm-hmm. Why won't this leadership group come out and talk?
I don't understand.
Why, after Game 7 last year, am I sitting here going, where's Mo and where's Mitch? Guys, you're captains. Get your ass out there or take the letter off. Just do one of the two. How is this acceptable? How do the Leafs accept this? How does management accept this? I'm sorry, it's inconvenient for you. Maybe play better. It might be an easier time with the media. Mm-hmm. I cannot believe, Jesse, I cannot believe at least Morgan Riley was not out there. I cannot even fathom that. That's I'm blown away. Does this not bother anyone else, or am I the only guy? I said this after Game 7 too. Does this bother you guys at all? Do you care? Am I wrong?
It doesn't. It's not that it doesn't bother.
You've been outscored 11-3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Leadership group doesn't come out and talk.
No, it's not that it doesn't bother me. It does bother me. And dude who threw his jersey on the ice last night, like that, that's taking up an unusual amount of oxygen today.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Who
people
cares?
need to relax. That's so stupid. I understand. But the general feeling of I'm out, you can't ignore it in this fan base. There are a lot of the people who are most optimistic about the Leafs are young. Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful thing because they've never really known them to be trash. We knew them as trash for a while.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. They were really bad.
And even that was an adjustment for us because for most of our childhood, they were really good.
They were.
They had like a 2 or 3 year blip. And then it was like conference
6,
final.
I would say. The 4 Joseph years and the 2 Belfour years before the lockout.
Yeah.
They were great.
No, but like when we were really, really little kids.
Oh, yeah, they had that too.
Back-to-back conference finals.
Right. Yep.
They had a little bit of a dip. And that like they went to 4 Final Fours before we graduated elementary school. Like that's really good. It's really, really good. Then they went for a walk in the desert.
Yeah, for 15 years. It was really bad.
In the desert. And our one sip that we got to have was the 4-1 collapse against Boston. Then Austin shows up. And Mitch and Willie. And later on, John.
Mm-hmm. Mo, too.
Morgan was a survivor.
Yeah, he was at that point.
Of the tail end of the walk. Right? So a lot of the younger audience doesn't really know them as trash, and they're wondering why so many people are down on them. And I totally understand that.
And they're not trash.
God, I would love to no, and they're not trash, and I would love to steal that optimism. Like, dude, I didn't get this worked up in 2014-15.
Well, because the expectations weren't there.
Yeah.
There was nothing on the line.
We knew they sucked. So when they sucked, there was no surprise. There was no tearing out your hair. Look at the first line. I don't even recognize half these guys.
Well, and I look at that. The only people who seemed not to know that Leafs team wasn't going to be good was management.
Yes. Yeah.
Dave Nonis and his bunch of whatevers.
Yeah.
They were so out to lunch. It was crazy. Like I cannot tell you, when we started this show, the Leafs would come out every year and be like, this is the team. And everybody on the online side, especially when the rise of advanced stats would be like, this is not a good team. And they'd be like, you're dumb. Just wait. And every year they were fucking terrible.
Right? So they come and they have the greatest sustained regular season success they've had in a very long time. Maybe post 67 expansion. It's the best stretch of regular season hockey they've ever had, which is insane because they still only have the one division and it was made up.
Yeah.
So year after year, they get embarrassed and the fan base feels stupid. Like we've gone out and we've been like, hey, how do you feel about the Leafs this year? And the most hardcore people who will come out to a live podcast or a book signing or whatever, wearing their Leafs jerseys go, like that's the most hardcore of the hardcore. And they're never going to leave. And they know they're never going to leave. There's other people who are like, okay, so you do this every year in the first round. And then the one year you didn't do it, you Casper the Friendly Ghost in the second round. Okay, fart. You said everything was on the table and nothing happened really of significance. And here you are again. I think you're a loser if you throw your jersey on the ice. I do. I get it though. I get a casual fan or someone who was once a passionate fan who has since become a casual going, I dropped $200 tonight. This is my first game in 2 years. I know I'm not going to be back here in a while. Fuck it.
Well, they'll never be back ever. They ban you for life when you do that.
Yeah.
And that's, that's...
And I mean, there's the clout chasers who are doing it for social and they get kicked out and they probably don't realize what a stupid mistake they've made. But I think there's some people who don't give a shit.
My thing comes back
I'll
to
never be back
accountability,
anyway.
guys. Accountability. Why are they not answering the bell for this?
So can I just provide context
Please.
on why and like who's speaking at certain times?
Please.
After the Columbus game, Mitch Marner spoke.
Okay.
John Tavares spoke. Hildeby spoke, and Austin Matthews spoke, plus
Right.
the coach. So they're out there. Morning skate, that would have been yesterday. Morgan Riley spoke. Ryan Reeves, Matthew Nyes, and the coach, I think, and they're probably missing one. And then after the game, we get Willie, OEL, Austin, and Wool. So I understand why Riley and Marner aren't out there after the game yesterday, because Marner and Tavares already did it on Tuesday after Columbus, and Morgan did it pregame yesterday.
It's 3 minutes of their lives.
It's
3 minutes. I'm sorry. It's 3 minutes of their lives.
After the game yesterday, the people we wanted to hear from were Wool, Austin, because he's always out there first, and then Willie. Like I think those were the main ones, and then obviously the coach every time, and then OEL is kind of the free space there.
So that's important context. Do they give you the option of, hey, who do you want to speak to? Like, do they poll people up in the press box?
One of the guys, like it's usually like Masters, or probably be like, hey, can we get this kind of guy? But then,
So he's like the spokesman.
yeah,
kind of. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not like an open conversation with anybody. Like, but they bring out the people who are coming out to talk.
So they probably don't need to consult Mark, but
Yeah.
well, I mean, Mark makes a lot of sense. It was a TSN game,
Yeah,
right? So I imagine it's a Sportsnet person on Sportsnet nights.
not necessarily.
No?
No,
Okay.
no. You can ask, and they'll deliver certain people. They know.
Okay.
They know who should be talking. They know what they're going to give you and what they're not going to give you.
Right.
And
It's
this,
ultimately it's the Leafs' decision. And if Morgan spoke pregame, it didn't really make sense for him to speak after the game when there wasn't big like Morgan coming out of that game, like big anything he did in that game necessarily to ask him about. You know, if somebody's going to speak on behalf of the team being disappointed, it's going to be the captain, and we always get the captain, which is his gig, which is awesome. I think Austin's taken on that, and he's done a great role with that. And then after Tuesday's game and the big loss, we got Tavares and Mitch. And if they're not gonna come out again post game on Thursday, because you're gonna hear the same thing.
Yeah, you know
like,
what,
Why
though?
why not replay what they said on Tuesday?
So here's my issue with that. They go and they speak, and half the media organizations, ours included, because we can't send you on the road, Jesse, do not send their reporters on the road. So you go in Columbus, you got half the reporters, you got, it's a shitty game against a shitty team, and they blew it and whatever. But your second half of a back-to-back shitty game, shitty team, this is at home. You got booed. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? And this is where I come back to the Game 7 thing. I keep bringing that up because those guys, Morgan Riley and Mitch Marner specifically, did not come out and speak after Game 7.
But after the game yesterday, the guys we want to talk to are the guys we got.
I just feel like if
I don't know if
you're a
there's
leader.
I don't
You
know
got to be a leader all the time.
I don't know if there's a Morgan quote that makes the loss any better.
Sometimes it's not about what they say. It's the act of doing it. It's the act of, we are an owner, a group here that takes responsibility. And even if it's one of the assistant captains,
Right.
you send Austin out by himself, and none of the three of you others can get off your ass
I don't know
and answer
if-
3 minutes a question.
I don't know if Morgan answering those questions does what you think it would do. Like, I don't think it helps the situation at all. I think Willie being out there was important. Like,
Because I think Willie's a leader, man. I think he's one of the next. He should be part of the captain.
And then,
that's
and then
a guy
you want
I
to talk to Joseph Wall, who had
First
the
game.
first game of the year.
Yep.
You want to know, like, hey, what do you think your team's performance in front of you? The goals, like, what goals you want to get back, and then like the third guy's Austin. So like, there's the
OEL
three
first
covered,
goal.
and then usually it's not. Usually it's three guys, and we got four because of Willie was kind of the extra guy because of what happened, and then OEL's the other space.
Let me play my rare role of middleman.
Yeah.
I think the both of you have points. What are they going to say at us?
It's not about
that'll
what
no.
they say.
What are they going to say at us? God,
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Now you know how it feels to be on the other end.
I was about to say, am I like this every show? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
This stuff, I'm actually like, it's just something that yeah. Anyway,
No, I know.
Go ahead. It's my bugaboo.
There's nothing that they say that's going to make us feel better. It is somewhat performative. However, a performance might be nice. Like, I understand where Adam's coming from. I would like the initiative of, like, okay, you guys can ask for who you want. It'd be great if one of them was like, no, I'm going to speak. You know what I mean? One of the letter A guys. Maybe that's not how it works. Maybe I'm being ignorant.
If we got Riley instead of Nylander, that would be a disappointment.
I get that for your story, Jeff.
yeah, I
I'm
understand.
talking about
No, I'm not saying instead. I'm saying and.
why can't they send out a fifth guy? Is that too hard?
It's just not like
It's not about, you understand, Jess. This is not about the story that you guys or that any reporter would have down there. It's about a leader on this team standing in front of people, and the media's job, in theory, is to be like, "Hey, what happened?" And a leader, even if they're not a part of the main storyline of the game, and none of those guys were, except for the fact of them that, you know, with the exception, I think, of Morgan Riley, who had some good plays. I think Marner was invisible and Tavares was invisible. It's not about not getting Nylander. It's not about not getting Woll. It's not about not getting OEL. How he plays into that, I don't know. I think he's been good.
OEL was out there talking about the power play.
Okay, good.
In particular.
It's about being a leader.
I want his insight on that.
Yeah.
It's about being a leader. And
But that's Austin Matthews' job.
then what are the other guys wearing the A for? Like, Nylander's here for another 8 years. That's a guy who should have an A.
I think you're both totally valid. I really do. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong here.
What I'm playing at here, and this is what I'm going to keep an eye on this season, is like I was absolutely flabbergasted after Game 7 when those two didn't come out. Flabbergasted. Just can't believe it. And I think I know it's the thing that the job that they hate the most. We all have things that we hate. If taking some hard questions after a shitty loss is too much for you, then take the letter off.
And Tavares and Marner speaking after Columbus doesn't mean anything to you.
Because it's not the same spotlight, and we cannot pretend that it is. You're in Columbus on the second half of a back-to-back when 60%, I'll even say, of the media in this country don't send reporters on the road.
Jesse has a point.
And
They
Morgan
did
speaking.
speak.
It's a home
and
game.
Morgan speaking before the game, coming off of
It's-
Columbus, that didn't mean anything to you either.
It's because the game hadn't been played yet.
No,
there's-
it doesn't, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because it's cooled down. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he's technically speaking after Columbus, but like the context of morning skate is not, hey, you're pretty shit against Columbus.
But in the context of him speaking before the game, it's like we don't need Morgan quotes after the game. Like, why?
I think we
we're
do.
Getting, we're
I don't
twice?
care what Morgan has to say before the game.
I would say things have
I don't give a
changed.
shit.
Yeah, but so you're getting Morgan instead of like it just doesn't align with how it works in the media avails. Like,
Well, maybe they should make it work. Maybe they. I think, and I think Jeff O'Neill's saying it, and I think a lot of other people are saying it is at a certain point, guys. At a certain point, the accountability thing has continued to be a problem, and I saw Leaf fans for the first time last night. People who are like hardcore, ardent, die for this team, who are like, man, Matthews and Marner don't have it together.
I think those are different conversations to me. Like the accountability, like we're them speaking to the reporters in the dressing room, I don't think is where they face any accountability at all. I think that comes on the ice and like Craig Berube's decisions with who's playing with who and who gets deployed and how much ice time, and the GM's decisions on who gets to stay here. That's for me. If you're asking for accountability, it's like, Mitch, you don't get a 8-year contract. Like that's for me is a different than like, hey, on a Thursday in October, you got to talk to the media. My accountability is like, hey, your on ice stuff is where it's going to hurt because that's actually what matters here.
Okay.
Your insight's really good. Adam has a good point. I think ultimately, if they had won that game, we wouldn't have cared if they sent out the training staff to talk to the media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's when the chips are down at home.
It's to me, it's not that it's invalid, the criticism, Adam, but to me, it's and another thing. Like we're not talking about who's talking to who.
I see a trend developing here, and it's just something I see, and I don't care how much I get lit up in the comments or how much people don't like me for it. If you think that this team has been fully accountable, then you haven't been watching. And when they're great, I will be the first one to wave the flag, like I was on Monday night. When they're great, I'll be the first one to say, "Holy shit, that was fucking awesome! More of that, please."
It's just I think it's pointing out a hangnail on a broken leg.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
There's bigger issues.
I don't think they've been accountable for every playoff loss they've had over the last 8 years. Like I don't, because all they've done is being rewarded by that by continuing to be Toronto Maple Leafs and making a lot of money and playing on the first and second line. So like, yeah, they haven't been accountable for anything that's gone on in Toronto. Because if anything, they've been rewarded for it by giving more and more opportunities to have another crack at the cannon. And so I 100% agree that they haven't been accountable. And the way to make them accountable for things is to change it. And that is something that they haven't done.
Okay.
Take away
and you know what? I take that. I'll back off my point.
Sure.
I just wanted to raise it. Now,
that was really good.
The other side of it.
I enjoyed that very much.
Puck drop has happened on the ice and at BetMGM, the official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. From game-winning goals to spectacular saves, BetMGM gives you the chance to take those highlight reel NHL plays to a whole new level. Jesse, what are you doing?
This man I am pointing at to my right, Steve Dangle, placed a bet on my BetMGM app yesterday, and I'm mad at him. Pre-game yesterday, I said, Steve.
Did it hit?
I said, Steve, here's a list of all the anytime point bet props that they have for the Leafs game. Steve said, he leads in 5-on-5 points per game. He's going to get a point for sure. Max Domi, he put $10 on. He didn't get a single point.
Wow. He still does lead in 5-on-5 points, though, so you were right to at least try.
Yeah.
That was bad. Anyway, hey, listen.
Steve, you owe me a win.
I almost put Broberg.
And he scored. Download the app today and find out why BetMGM is not only the official sports betting partner of the NHL in Canada, they're also the king of sportsbooks. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 19 years of age or older to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. The other side of it, guys, is Jim Montgomery, according to Jimmy Murphy. Jim Montgomery is reporting. Oh, sorry, Darren Dreger is reporting. Jim Montgomery tweeted it, but Darren Dreger is reporting that he believes ownership and management are going to speak. This is Bruins ownership and management will speak to each other ahead of Saturday night's game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The speculation about Jim Montgomery right now, talk about accountability, is interesting. And, and what Jimmy says is, he had 2 coaches of the span of 22 seasons. Is Jeremy Jacobs going to be okay with 3 in 3 seasons? Now, this stuff can come up. It can die down. The reality is the Bruins haven't been good. Like the Leafs have shown flashes of, holy shit, this team's really great. The Bruins have not been good.
Who's pushing the Coach Q button?
They got their asses handed to them by Florida
that's
twice.
A really good point.
Oh, Quinville's.
Who's pushing the Coach Q button?
30 days, man. He's coming. He's coming.
Who's pushing the button? I think it's going to happen.
Dude, let's not forget that this is the same Bruins team that did some other stuff that was controversial, we'll say. Mm-hmm. I think Quinville makes a ton of sense there.
Well, I think, the Leafs are going to save Jim Montgomery's job. because it's like a really important Saturday night game, and they're going to save him the way they saved him in Game 7.
Yep.
Like this conversation we're having about the Bruins' tough start and everything, and is Jim Montgomery on the hot seat? If they had lost that Game 7, he would not be back. I don't think so.
Well, I want to say, too, to Bruins management who are going to meet with ownership, how much of this is down to you? Jeremy Swayman missed training camp. That's your fault. You said you offered $64 million. You hadn't. Then it came to 66. You were probably offering between 58 and 60 million bucks before that. Did it really matter that much?
Is that what's sinking them?
I don't think they've had great goaltending.
Is
it
like,
a team getting older? Is it a team?
They're not that old. They got old.
Some of the
parts.
better players, yeah.
They got old parts, yeah. But like they opened the wallet for Zadorov. And that's ownership spending.
Yep.
They opened the wallet for Lindholm.
Oh, I'm not saying ownership's not spending.
No, but like what I'm trying to say is, yeah, they cheaped out on Swayman and that was dumb. But like they're spending. They're spending money on this team. There's a lot of really young parts to this team. Like they might even be too young in certain spots. I just, you know how we're sitting here doubting the Leafs, who have had some pretty ho-hum starts over the last few years, and they end up doing pretty well in the regular season. I mean, what evidence do we have to doubt the Bruins in any capacity?
Well, and I just find it interesting that if we're going to compare apples to apples, the Leafs and Bruins have both played 8 games, and the Leafs have 1 more point.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is the standard in Boston.
It changes
That's
so
the standard
fast.
in Boston. I'm going to get shit from Leaf
No, I
fans
know.
for what I said today. And they're going to be like, you're overreacting. I've seen media say, don't overreact. Fuck off. Fuck off with that don't overreact. I'm a fucking fan. I'll react the way I want to. Thank you very much. Fuck off with that. I can be pissed today and happy tomorrow. I'm allowed to be that way. Fuck off.
I don't know if are people happy with what happened this week?
There are people who are out there going, okay, you all need to calm down. Be rational like smart guy me. Stop it. Stop it.
I think you
stop it.
I think everybody has a right to be upset with this team after those 2 performances. This was supposed to be the get right game, and they did not get right. You should be mad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. Like, okay, you have a stinker against Columbus.
All right.
Fine. The next game being that you can lose that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just because you tried your hardest doesn't mean you're going to win.
Right.
Boy, that was pretty shit.
Yeah, they didn't try their hardest. I think that was the whole thing coming off of Wednesday's pod when we were chatting. I was like, okay, Columbus sucked, but tomorrow night is the real important game. Like that, it was like, okay, you're gonna have a stinker every now and again, and you didn't show up at all. But now you got a chance to prove, like, hey, that wasn't us.
And we're
going out there and trying.
We're also all trying to figure out what they are, and we only have 8 games to go on.
Yeah.
And Game 6, the reason we were all jumping for joy is we're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
they look great.
Yeah.
Right.
Very next night, we went, oh, what happened? And we tried to rationalize it, and then the Blues one was concerning because there's way fewer excuses for that loss than there were for Columbus.
So now the question is, I know, sorry, this is about the Bruins, but like with the Leafs, there's
Well, it matters because
It's
their
a
next
tale of two
opponent,
cities,
put a
right?
bow on it and move over to the Bruins if we want to do that. The question is like, okay, for the first 6 games, is that the Leafs team we saw, or is it the last 2 games and that Tampa just had an off night? You know, could it be that Tampa sucked that night?
Uh-oh.
They made the
Don't
Leafs
say
good?
that.
I don't know.
You might be. I mean, you have to ask the question.
Maybe Tampa had an off night and the Leafs just took advantage of it, and the Leafs are more true to the form of what we've seen over the last couple
too many,
days.
Don't be that.
I feel
Too
like
many Real Sports chicken wings? what are you thinking?
Don't be that.
what are you talking about?
Oh, just maybe they were playing a little heavy.
Tampa? Yeah. I don't know. Like, and the Leafs played a great game against the Rangers, but they didn't win.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh, Jesse.
And that's
And then
a
now
lot.
we're going into Saturday, and it's like, okay, tough game against the Bruins. Both teams need to get right game.
Well,
Let's see.
yeah, this is a valid discussion, I think, for Bruins fans because like this is how up against the up against the ropes as you feel. That's the Leafs. This is 2 teams in the exact same position, basically.
Yeah.
Both teams need the same thing on Saturday. Leafs, Bruins.
Your point
Hope
about
the Leafs win.
Your point about it being 8 games in and we're trying to figure it out is got to be the overarching conversation or overarching theme of the entire conversation because it is so early. But eventually it gets late. You know, eventually we have enough evidence and we point at it and we say we are what they thought that
Are we 8 games or are we 8 years?
So exactly. So it's like, okay, at game 15, if they're still struggling, or if at game 15 they've turned it around, eventually we got to point to the team and we got to say that's who they are at this point, and then make some decisions about that going forward.
And let me just remind everybody who thinks I'm shitting on them for no reason, I picked this team to win the division.
I don't think anybody thinks you're shitting.
Oh, man.
Adam.
You're arguing with nobody here right
What is this,
now.
Freaky Friday? And stop pre-arguing.
Yeah, you just make your point, you know?
I think this team has the chance to do really special things.
Like, express your opinion. You don't have to pre-defend it with people that may think you're shitting on whatever. I don't know.
Thanks. I do need this. Thank you. I will take this hug. Thank you, Steven.
It's not your fault.
Okay.
It's not your fault, Adam. Adam, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, man.
All right. So the Montgomery
Good Will
stuff.
Hunting. It's an old film.
Yes, the
Bruce
Montgomery
stuff is fascinating.
The Montgomery stuff is interesting. Yeah. I want to just re-quote Brad Marchand because we referenced it, but he said it's unfortunate how coaches are scrutinized over things like that. There's a lack of accountability nowadays because people can't handle the heat. You make a mistake like that, you deserve to hear about it. That is, It's Vince Vaughn in Anchorman. I hate you, but God damn it, I respect you.
I know.
he's like, if Brad Marchand were here, we would love him as our own. And he is a rat.
So,
but man, he's right.
So I was listening to 32 Thoughts and they were talking about contact being made. So I learned about this incident from that show. I hadn't seen it yet. And I was like, oh shit. Like, did Jim Montgomery haul off and punch Brad Marchand? Like, what? And when I saw it, I'm like, is this what we're talking about?
Yeah,
like,
he kind of.
Listen, coach can't be doing that. Like, and there's been, wasn't it Bill Peters was accused of kicking a player in Carolina?
Mark Crawford, too. Mark Crawford did kick a player.
Yeah, like I'm sure this has happened on NHL benches before. And it wasn't okay every time it happened. Right? That little nudge.
Yeah, like why are we talking about that?
That's not a strike. That's a hey, wake up. Like it's I don't know. I didn't think the Monty pushing, shoving, whatever you want to call it, Brad Marchand was a thing. The yelling was a thing. But like, I don't know, add Brad Marchand to the list of probably 100, 200 players that have been yelled at already this season.
Sure.
Probably a solid quarter of the league for coughing one up. Systems aren't in place yet. This is October is the month of pond hockey.
Yes, that is also true. And important part of all the conversations that we have. But I think it's worth reacting to what sample you have.
Mm-hmm. No, totally.
Now,
the Leafs currently are 21st in the league in points percentage. Yes. There's 10 teams below them who maybe their fan base is having the same conversation.
Yeah, it changes so aggressively.
Yeah.
Like
early on,
they were 4-2, which is you're winning 66% of your games.
Now
they lose 2 games in 3 days and they're shit.
Yeah, it's early, but eventually it's not going to be early.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Hey everyone, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Every man knows that unbeatable feeling of just walking out of the hair salon or the barber shop and just feeling clean and whoosh. What if you could feel that way, but everywhere else on your body?
So they still got work to do.
What do you mean?
They got to conquer the moon, Mars, Jupiter,
because they've already conquered your balls.
But you said they're the global leader.
They are the global leader.
Next stop, space.
That's true. Good point, Jesse.
Yes.
Good point. Now,
I thought it was a great point.
Manscaped's got a new innovation. It's called the Chairman Pro. It is an electric foil shaver, a game-changing tool that brings the luxury of professional shave right to your home, whether that's whether you're the daily silky smooth finish type of person or you're Jesse and you maintain a more rugged look. The Chairman Pro electric foil shaver.
I'm the opposite of rugged. What are you talking about?
I think you've got a good rugged look to you.
That's
And I know you use Manscaped products to
who's rugged
keep that
would
rugged
say.
look. The Chairman Pro might be for you. It's precision.
Oh, nice.
Precision.
There we go.
I was not precise in my precision pronunciation.
That's the face shaver?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I used it this morning.
Oh, there you go.
And I love it, actually.
Oh, okay.
I love it because
well, look at Steve.
You're very smooth.
I was shaving too much, and it was starting to chop up my skin.
Okay, now
so
show-
I started to use this.
Show us the other one.
What do you mean the other one? Oh, my balls?
Let's not. Head over to manscaped.com and join 11 million other men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using that code DANGLE. Why? Balls. 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com promo code
Dangle.
I think we need to get to Wagon Corner.
Cool.
The Winnipeg mother effing Jets.
Wagon peg.
Wow, wagon peg. I like that.
Wagon peg.
Jesse, how are we feeling about the Connor Hellebuck save percentage thing? By the way,
you're a
What
bum.
it is at now? I know.
You're
I'm a
dead.
fucking
we have
idiot.
Jets fans commenting still on our Winnipeg Jets season preview, going literally "fuck you, Jesse."
As they should.
Now, they almost coughed it up yesterday.
They did.
They had a 3-1 lead. They almost coughed it up.
Did they win?
But they didn't.
Yeah.
Did they win though?
Yeah.
They won.
They won.
No,
So it doesn't matter.
940 save percentage. That 920 is looking good.
Wait, so he's down from, I believe, 948.
Yeah, he's down from the last time.
Bum!
We checked it. But
Bum! Hella bum! That's terrible. 940? Get good. Get good, hella bum.
the absolute stupid thing about the Winnipeg Jets, second in goals for, second in goals against. They are executing at every single facet of the game.
Why not first?
Absolute wagon.
Why not first?
Absolute wagon.
Get good.
I don't know if they're ever going to lose a game.
Do better.
They may never lose again.
They may go 82 and they had the overtime one. No,
That's right.
they may go 82 and 0.
I said Flames and OT. I'm sticking with it. Do you guys remember what your picks were? And even if you don't, just make another.
I remember saying I think the Jets will have lost by then.
They won't. They won't have.
Oh, man. Wagon peg rolls on, baby. Wagon peg rolls on.
Jesse, any
No,
thoughts?
yeah, you changed your
I did change my
you
pick.
changed your opinion. I think I didn't make a prediction Wednesday for this, but I'll say that the Jets win on Saturday,
Okay.
and then the Leafs beat them on Monday because that's the most Leafs thing to happen. They lose to the Bruins on Saturday, but then they stomp the Jets on Monday.
Or it's Leafs Nation Civil War where we make a big deal out of back-to-back losses. Then they beat the Bruins and Jets
Yeah,
consecutively.
either way, I think the Leafs win Monday because that's the most Leafs thing to happen.
I need a Leafs win over the Bruins, like I need air. Like I need it. I need it in my. I need it to be okay on Sunday for our live show in Oshawa, and we also in the Wagon Bowl by points percentage, and I think this is important. And the Wagon Corner is the Washington Capitals, who have 5 wins and then 1 loss in regulation, and that's it. A team that is getting pretty good goaltending.
Logan Thompson, fantasy sleeper. He's not going to play enough games for you to get him all the time, but waiver wire pickup.
I think
I forgot to
Calgary.
tell you that earlier. Sorry, Adam.
Calgary's got to still be ahead of Washington in the Wagon Bowl, but Minnesota's has been ahead of Calgary in the Wagon Bowl.
Yeah.
I think we're ranking Wagons, and then third, maybe, or fourth, probably Washington.
Washington,
But
because
maybe-
they were ranked ahead of Calgary going into the season, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, like
way
way
ahead. Yeah. Washington's a playoff team.
Yeah, and then the least surprising teams, New York and Dallas, who are both. Hey,
No,
they're
you don't.
great.
You don't get to be Wagon Bowl if you're already good.
Well, if you're already good and you go on a 7 for 7, then you're the Jets.
Yeah,
Remember, they
yeah.
had 110 points last year.
Yeah. No, for like the Rangers, and the Rangers are 5-1 right now. For the Rangers to enter Wagon Bowl, they got to be like just really impressive.
They got to be Jets.
They got to be like 10-1 . You
Yeah.
know.
That's such a valid point. I don't know
know?
if the Jets count.
no, they absolutely
but
count.
the Jets have got 7-0 is Wagon.
Yes,
Even at 5-0, I'm like, Jets, you got to keep going.
So
now
lucky
they're at
number
Wagon.
7 is official.
Now they're at Wagon territory.
Well, they're
about
in.
6?
You have to have criteria for these things. Else, then what are we talking about? If there's no criteria.
Then it's just anarchy.
Then we're just fucking chatting.
It's lawless.
By the way, if the Jets win against Calgary,
You gotta have rules in the Wild West.
And we're no better than the birds in the air and the fish in the sea.
the-
When you put rules in the Wild West, you become a society, and this is a society.
that's right. You send in the Pinkerton agent.
Flaws and all.
If the Jets win in Calgary, and then they win in Toronto, they will be on the verge of tying the 93-94 Leafs and the
Why'd I put my glasses on?
which Sabres team to go like 10-0-0 to start a year. And so they'll be in record-breaking territory by mid to late next week. Because if they go 11-0-0, no team has ever started a season like that.
The early season's so stupid.
Well, that's what's so fun about it.
You
can react angrily and then be extremely happy the next night. We're not talking in weeks. We're not talking in months. We're talking in days.
No.
It's like the playoffs.
All right,
We're talking day to day.
You must not get worked up or happy about anything. You must be a cold-blooded invertebrate.
Longest winning
Don't enjoy
streaks
this.
from the start of an NHL season, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres own the record at 10. The 93-94 Toronto Maple Leafs won 10 straight games, and the Buffalo Sabres in 2006-2007 won 10 straight games.
That team was cracked.
It will shock you to know the Sabres were once good at hockey.
The
They were
Winnipeg
so good at
The
hockey.
Winnipeg Jets right here are very close. If you remember last season, the Vegas Golden Knights won 7 straight games.
Oh,
to
yeah.
start the year.
Wow, I
winning the
forgot
cup.
about that.
That is a thing that happened, but the Jets, they're tied for 9th with all of these teams, 9 through 17.
So they beat Calgary. They're in the top 10 all time.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That Leafs game is going to be very important if they beat Calgary.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
I say they do it.
Yeah?
I say they no. I think they lose. I think they lose to the Leafs on Monday. Oh, yeah, go Leafs!
Stupid idiot.
Now, I want to mention Shea Theodore, who was supposed to be one of the most sought-after free agents at the end of this season, just signed a ridiculous contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. Okay, guys. All right, fine. No, let's do nothing about the cap in tax-free states. Let's just continue to do nothing because there's clearly no advantage. Even if the advantage is a perceptual advantage, it's an advantage.
That contract-
Shea Theodore, 7 years, $7.425 million per year.
That contract's a joke. That contract's a joke.
That's how great it is to play in Vegas, too.
And win a cup there.
Yeah.
No, that contract's a joke. He's underpaid by like at least $1.5 million. Like, if he hit the open market, get out of my face. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's such a sweetheart deal for Vegas. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's Vegas, so they could just trade him if they stop liking him. So
Well, they will.
they will.
This, we gotta have just a quick, I just want to, quick note again.
What is this?
Quick note again, those tax-free states, those contract numbers seem to be a lot lower than everywhere else. I wonder why that is. Anyway, good for Vegas, good for Shea Theodore, and this guy rules, and damn, I'm jealous.
He's so good.
On a good team.
So good. You know who hates that deal, actually, is every other good defenseman in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I forgot, what did Montour sign for with the Kraken? I'm just going to pull it up here.
7?
Montour, 7.142. So within 300,000 of Shea Theodore.
I think 7.142 brings him to 50.
And Montour's 30.
Right, and Theodore's what, 28?
29.
29?
So I don't know how dissimilar they are. They're both offensive defensemen.
Oh,
I think Shea Theodore's got the edge.
Yeah, Theodore's pretty damn good, dude. One of the most underrated players in the league, honestly. Unless you pay attention.
He rolls very hard.
He's extreme.
On my fantasy team, he rocks.
Yes, he's very good. I had
hey,
him last year.
As an aside, too, Elias Pettersson and JT Miller got into it at practice. Vancouver Canucks have had a bit of a tough start. Obviously, they got a goalie with an injury that no goalie in the history of the league has ever had. They're still 10th in the conference. They've only played 6 games, 3-1-2. Listen, we'd take that.
Yep.
They have the same amount of points as the Leafs. But a little bit of frustration. And apparently, according to Firehound Lounge on the Donnie and Dolly show, Miller called Pettersson a baby.
Ooh.
Now,
Not baby girl, like he called
no, not baby girl, I love you.
No?
It's just baby.
Oh, okay. It's not as good.
Another team notably got into this recently, and they've done a lot better. Peyton Krebs, Rasmus Dahlin, and the Buffalo Sabres, they're on a 2-game win streak right now, and I think they've played pretty good hockey since
Wagon.
since the attempted knee takeout. With
What are they?
Rasmus
What are
Dahlin.
they? 4-1, 3-1 since then?
Yeah,
They're doing very well.
3-1, I think.
That's pretty good, man. I'll take it. What does that give them? The same record as the Leafs? Cool.
Just about, not quite.
Oh, damn. Listen, the Vancouver Canucks, as long as they have this group, are always going to be that couple that argues when they walk into the party, because you can tell they argued the whole way there. And about an hour later, they're making out on the couch, making it everyone's business. And that's just how they operate, man. They're weird. They have a strange dynamic in that locker room. They hired the perfect coach. I feel stupid for ever doubting that Rick Tocchet hire. He is an expert at managing volatile but talented situations.
Yeah, Malkin Kessel in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like I'm really... All right, Miller, like, okay, a lot of people are focusing on Pettersson because he's not doing well and he got called a baby. We're not going to focus on the fact that this is like the third time this has happened with Miller in Vancouver, at least. Remember, he didn't even wait to get to practice with Luke Shen. Remember?
What happened? No, what happened there?
Oh, they were going at it at like center ice on their way off, and Connor Garland's in the middle like, hey, come on, guys. And 2 of those 3 guys are still there. It's fine. It's fine. They're going to be fine. They'll survive.
I like it.
Elias Pettersson, since March 21st, 2024, has 0 even strength goals.
Oh, my God.
No goals this season. That is 26 games plus, that's 32 games. That's 0 even strength goals.
That's so many games.
That's a lot of games. That's regular season and playoffs. That's a lot of games. I don't think that's an insignificant amount of games.
No, that's a lot of games.
And he
When do you hit
makes too much money for that shit.
Guys, what do you put him at the concernometer?
Oh.
Where are you
Steve,
at?
if this was
Orange.
If this was somebody on the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think your reaction would be a lot louder.
Yeah, no, I'd be losing my mind. Yeah.
You would be like, that's what the money is for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, the Canucks are like doing all right. And
Yeah. No,
Like-
they did all right through that whole stretch, through this stretch of games. Yeah.
it's
Lankinen was a good signing, by the way. Really good.
Oh,
signing.
Been fantastic so far this season.
It's one of those things where, yeah, there's an obvious problem here, but it doesn't become a problem I'm all that concerned about until they start losing all the time. Right? It's worth noting. Keep in your back pocket. Try to fix it. But as we keep outscoring the other team by the end of the night, it's okay. Like that's why there's not that much concern and freaking out and all that. It becomes more of a problem when like the playoffs are happening, you're doing well, you'd like him to be scoring. It's not that big of a problem. Brock Besser's not going to play Game 7. Okay, it's a problem now.
Yeah.
It's a problem, and I hate it, and I wish he would score immediately.
The Canucks so far this season with Elias Pettersson 0 goals have lost once in regulation time.
Wow.
That's why it's not a problem.
They've 1 loss in the shootout, 1 loss in OT, 1 in regulation, and they have won 3 games in a row.
Yeah, that's why it's not a problem.
But and then
Fine.
through their playoff run, the entire 13 game stretch where he has no even strength goals, they go to the second round. And you're like, oh, they look really good against Edmonton, and if they have a goaltender, maybe they make it through. So
It's stepbrothers. Like, all right, now the suits seem kind of fucked up. Like, it's just one of those things where you don't care as long as they're winning.
yeah, and your
Second that stops.
your point about the Game 7 is like, oh, it started being a conversation about Pettersson and his play towards the end of the Edmonton series because a lot of people looked at it and they're like, he could have been the X factor that got him over the hump, plus like the goaltending, as I mentioned.
Well, we're all looking at Edmonton like, okay, we're not worried about their bad start. They're going to be right there, and they're a lot of people's cup pick. Besser plays that game. They might have won.
Who knows?
They might have won. They might have gone to the Final Four. I probably would have picked them. But, when they didn't have Besser, it's kind of hard.
It's tough.
You need your guys to be your guys. He's paid isn't he the highest paid player on the team?
Yes.
Pettersson?
Yeah.
I think he's higher paid than Quinn Hughes. Yeah. Well, for sure.
Oh, Quinn Hughes is on
Sweetheart deal, that deal.
Real sweetheart. I feel like it's not that long. Didn't he sign a short one?
Yeah, I can't remember. And then Hronik's at $8 million. So yeah, I think he's well paid.
Yeah, Pettersson's 11.6.
Yeah.
Till 2032.
Wow.
Yeah,
making
it's not
it-
even it's
You
not
need
even close.
to start maybe scoring.
Artemi Panarin money? Like,
Yeah, JT Miller is at 8. So yeah.
that's not a bad deal either.
And JT Miller is a guy that will challenge guys. And
Yeah.
sometimes that works, and
Oh,
sometimes you're Bo Horvat and it doesn't work.
Whoa, who's fighting at practice? Oh, it's JT.
JT will challenge you in the middle of a game.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
we've seen that.
Yeah. But the
Quinn
problem with
Hughes-
JT Miller with Bo Horvat was JT Miller wasn't playing well either. He just was like, I don't feel like playing defense this year.
Quinn Hughes face washes Petey and calls him a baby. That's news.
Yeah. Yeah.
JT Miller, meh.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes is so good. Like
really
watching the Amazon series made me appreciate him even more as what he does, because he's an undersized defenseman who plays like he has size, and his agility on the back end it accounts for whatever he lacks in terms of just height wise or size wise. He's just so good defensively that he can overcome any obstacle he has in terms of what other players have in just their stature on the ice. And he's the best in the world right now.
Crazy passing, crazy vision.
He's the best in the world right now, outside of Cale Makar, who's off to one of the best starts I've ever seen any defenseman have.
I was saying to Steve, I missed out on both of my drafts. I drafted 8th. And I missed out on Leon Draisaitl both times. He was drafted 6th in one, I think, and then 7th in the other or something like that. And I ended up in both drafts with Cale Makar. And
Feels
boy, am I
late for
happy.
Leon.
Yeah.
You ended up with Kale?
Both drafts.
If you have a solid defense, you can win.
It's crazy. I want to mention that just breaking as of 5 minutes ago, Larry Brooks of the New York Post is reporting that Alexis Lafreniere and the New York Rangers are closing in on a 7-year extension worth what? Just to give you an idea, he's got 7 points in 7 games this year, 57 points last year, career high, 28 goals, 29 assists.
7.8.
Oh, he stole my number.
Did I actually?
Yeah.
On the button?
7.6.
Jesse nailed it.
Thank God you stole my number.
Said just under 7.6 million.
Fuck yeah.
You guys were
Great
both
deal.
really close. Well done.
Great deal. That's what it
That's what it should be.
$8 million shit that conversation we had like a week ago. Too high. This is right where it should be.
Now here's a guy that was a high, like the highest pick you can be, and he really earned it.
Yeah.
He's earned this extension more than I think I've seen a rookie earn an extension in a long time.
He's a good player. He's a breakout player. He was great in the playoffs. As a Leaf fan, I'm sick.
Well, yeah, but also
to
you gotta
my
remember
stomach.
that he didn't have numbers like Matthews and Marner and Nylander.
I know.
He's never like Nylander when he sat out was coming
I
off
know.
a 69-point season. Marner, when his contract was signed, was coming off a 94. Matthews had scored 40 goals in his rookie year.
I'm sick.
Lafreniere's done none of those things.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine that a player who was selected first overall in October because the world was shut down?
Yep.
Took a little bit of time from the age of 18 to now he's 23 to develop into the skill that he always had in him. Shocked.
That whole,
Yeah.
whole
Shocked.
draft, basically.
Oh
except
my
for
God.
Stützle, I think.
Hey, maybe we give this kid a bit of time and then he'll get to this point in his career. And yeah, they gave him time and they didn't give up on him and now he's here. Like, geez, everybody who was on Lafreniere.
It wasn't just him too. This is why I'm trying to bring up the 2020 draft. I want to see if there's a bunch
Which
of
took
players.
place in October.
Yes, it was friggin' weird. So, okay, this is really interesting. Alexis Lafreniere took a while.
Yeah.
He's here. Quentin Byfield took a while. He's here.
Shocked.
Tim Stützle basically
No, he was
showed up and was unreal.
yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Lucas Raymond kind of showed up and was unreal.
yeah.
Jake Sanderson, I'd say he took a couple years. He's really good.
He's there now.
But he got that contract after a 34.77. Like he played one season.
Those
and got
are
Jake
Nikita
Sanderson.
Zaitsev rookie numbers.
That's what Jake Sanderson got. Hey, listen, had Lou Lamoriello been here, that's what Zaitsev would have got.
Now it gets crazy. Number 6, Jamie Drysdale. He's taken a while. Alexander Holtz, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't he already been traded or waived? Yeah, he's not on New Jersey. I want to say he's on Vegas now. I think he was part of that deal with the goalie, Akira Schmid. Anyway, number 8, Jack Quinn in Buffalo. Yeah,
Good memory.
taking a while. No, I'm reading it.
No, the Alexander Holtz.
Oh, number 9, Marco Rossi. He took a while, and part of that was illness from 2020. Cole Perfetti. He was expected to make a bigger impact in Winnipeg faster. I'd say he's showing up, but it took a while. Yaroslav Askarov. Well, we see how that's gone. And then you get into like Anton Lundell, Seth Jarvis, Dylan Holloway. Like, you know,
Cole Perfetti is more than a point a game player right now.
right now.
Yeah, no, but like he's showing up. Like,
Yeah, he's showing up.
Put him on the list of like guys who have shown up.
Right,
this
but it took a
season.
while.
Yes, but I'm saying
Well,
like
they had
now,
to play him.
now he's here.
Yeah, it's
They weren't playing him.
weird.
He was injured.
Weird draft. Weird draft. No. I know they weren't playing him.
That's what I mean, though, right?
But like when he was healthy, they weren't really
Yeah,
playing him.
nah.
That's what I mean.
Either. The
New
Jets
coach.
the Jets over the last few years have been one of the best teams at healthy scratching players in the lineup.
Ehlers, Perfetti.
Like-
yeah. Bones really like took it to them.
Man, you look like a 12-minute a night guy. How do you feel about that? Shitty? All right, we'll deal with it.
I know there was a lot of fans in Newark, New Jersey, who tried to dump on the Rangers for drafting Alexis Lafreniere and calling him a bust, but I think we can drop that label.
Who are these
now.
people, Jesse? Who are you pre-arguing with?
I think we can. No, I'm not pre-arguing. I'm post-arguing
No,
with
that's
them.
just the
I know.
Rangers
With them
fan.
for 4 years, calling him a
the
bust.
Rangers fan
I
in him.
think we can drop. The bust label on Lafreniere now.
Yeah, I agree.
Can we all collectively agree as a hockey community? I'm asking for peace
But
here.
How did a Rangers
Peace
fan
in-
get
Jesse,
Leafs credentials? This
but
is
Jesse,
bullshit.
what
Peace
if
in East Rutherford.
What if he
Newark.
only
No.
scores 7 points this year? Is he back to bust status on a long-term
7
contract? We
points?
got to find out.
7 points? Where are you getting that?
He's only got 7 points this year. I'm like, what if he doesn't score
Haven't they played like 6 games?
7 games?
So he's a
I say,
point a
what-
game?
There's so many more
He's
games
not
where he
leading
may
the league,
not
though.
score, Jesse. We
not
still
leading
don't
the
know.
league, though.
We simply just don't know. That's how anxiety looks at this. Yes, you've had a good time so far, but there's so many games where you could fail.
Adam said that's how anxiety looks at this and looked me dead in the eye.
Oh my gosh. All
I deserved
want is peace between the Prudential Center and Madison Square Garden.
You will not
and
find
for
that.
both of them to hug.
You
Well,
want
good
you
luck.
want people from New Jersey to make peace with people from New York?
Yes.
They're the. It's like, oh, you know what? Let's get Philadelphia in there to mediate that. Like, come on. I was going to say, by the way, Vancouver is a market. You know, we forget this because Vancouver, because we were talking about them earlier. Vancouver hasn't had a really good team for a long time, right? Until last year. That's a tough market. When that team is good,
Oh, yeah.
holy geez, you don't want to be the bad guy on the good team. Look, ask Mason Raymond how he feels about it. Damn. Ask anybody that's played there that's had like this. Vancouver will get on you faster than Montreal and Toronto.
That's one of my like favorite early years rants.
What's that?
I think the Canucks, when they were like on their President's Trophy tear, they like kicked the Leafs ass or whatever. I'm like, well, since I know Canucks fans are watching this, how dare you ever complain about Mason Raymond? If that's your biggest complaint, I think you're doing okay at life.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he joined the Leafs.
I want to quickly do this quick story just to make everybody feel good before we go to the press conference. Okay, this is good. This is a feel good story. You
Roll
never hear about
credits.
this.
Roll
Hey
credits.
guys, you heard yesterday that Jeff Vinik is going to sell a majority stake in the club. I don't believe there's like a full number out there yet, but they're valued at 1.8 billion. 1.8 billion. He bought them for 93 million 14 years ago.
Wow.
He bought him, I think, for I think Eugene paid similar money for the Senators, but the way that the Lightning have obviously been successful and the whatever. One of the things that has, and CJ's a guy that always talks about this, is Jeff Vinik is known as one of the best owners in the NHL. So it's a shame that he's going, but I guess he's still going to run things as a part of this deal, kind of like Mark Cuban in Dallas with the Mavericks. But I just thought you guys would like to know that Jeff Vinik is paying about $20 million in bonuses to the organization's more than 300 employees. Each full-time employee will receive between $50,000 and $66,000.
Holy shit.
American.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
That's life-changing.
Well, for a lot of people, that's
Holy
their
crap.
year.
That's life-changing.
Yeah. think that's pretty cool. I just thought it was a cool story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for them.
Yeah. And he, you know what? Because I think he believes, listen, this was a very small team and a very small operation when I took over. You guys helped me build this. You deserve to take part in it. I thought that was neat. Yeah. Finnick.
Imagine having that much money. I'm going to give you all like 50 G's. Wait, who are you giving I don't know, like hundreds of them. I can't. I'm going to give away 50 G's. That's so nice. No, I'm not finished. Hundreds, like fill an auditorium. I'm giving all of them 50 G's.
That's like Oprah, you get a car on steroids.
Right? You know? Oh my God, that's awesome. I'd rather have the 50 G's.
Honestly. Yeah. Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
All right, I got to shout out 3 people. Francis Jude.
Got to do a little nerve floss.
Stop it.
No,
Listen to Jeff.
Katie Long, and Cameron DeFazio, who do you think that's Cameron from Philly? Philly Sports Talk?
I think he is I'm going to go with Belgium heritage.
Guys, there's no Italians in Philly. Come on now.
Nah. What are you, nuts?
All 3 of you, I assume Red Wings fans, sent me an Instagram story that Moritz Seider posted so that we could bring back NHL Car Watch for today.
Oh, everybody's favorite bit.
Let's go.
Look at that. Now he's got... Okay, first off, this is how many tires did we give it? 5 out of 5?
Yeah, the ranking is you're out of 5 tires. How are we giving this? First, we need to describe the photo. Second, I got to give Cameron's opinion. Okay. So, first of all, you're looking at an Instagram story of Moritz Seider with a black Porsche. It is very sleek. He writes on his Instagram story, "Thank you, Porsche Detroit North, for making sure that I always arrive in style." Fire emoji, F1 car emoji. He's standing next to the car with his nice plaid jacket. He's got a Porsche hat on. He is it looks like the Porsche showroom with the car. The car looks beautiful. You see the front of the car, not really the side of it. That is the Instagram story. Cameron, when he sent it over, he offered this opinion. In my entirely biased opinion, I'm going to give this a 10.
That's not the scale.
Photo with car. Photo with guy that sold it to him. So I think on the next slide, he might have had the photo with the guy who sold it to him. Photo of a nice car the dealership has. Really checking all the boxes here. That was Cameron's opinion. Steve and Adam, out of 5 tires, Cameron said 10 tires out of 5. How many tires are you giving this NHL Car Watch?
You go ahead, Steve.
This is aggressively good.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to describe it. So one of the staples of NHL Car Watch is the car must be posed diagonally. Mm-hmm. And this is the angle. The angle. It is very acute.
It's the nose of the car, and it's slightly angled, so you can see kind of the side of it.
It's not dead on.
Yeah.
It's just a little... You should still be able to see both headlights. Mm-hmm. Nailed the angle. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. The lighting,
great lighting.
Nailed it. Great natural sunlight in there, even though it is filmed indoors or shot indoors. The reason this is so gosh darn elite beyond the setting and the lighting of the photo, Moritz Seider is dressed like the car.
I was going to say the same thing. He matches the car, and he matches the rim. Look at the rim.
Oh, he's got white shoes, white Porsche hat, black pants, black t-shirt, black plaid jacket on top of it. This, I think, is the best one we've seen. It's a little bit like those blind rankings where you don't want to give up the top spot because what if someone surpasses it? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is excellence.
It's spectacular. It's great. I agree with everything Steve said.
I might have to give it a 5.
Oh, I'm giving it a 5 for sure.
I think I have to give it 5 tires out of 5.
And by the way, look at the salad coming out of the back of that hat.
Yeah, the salad's got to be some bonus points.
That's a guy that just signed a $50 million deal.
Power stance, hands in pockets,
Lululemon joggers on.
Mona
Sporty,
Lisa
but also
smile.
cool.
He knows he's the shit. I'm gonna go with mature emoji use. Didn't overdo it. Didn't underdo it. Thank the people. Tag them properly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is simply elite company that we're sitting in on NHL Car Watch.
I love that.
Now, I'm going to offer an opinion here about the dealership that hooked him up with the Porsche.
Detroit North.
Porsche Detroit North, who did not on their Instagram post this.
What?
Actually, that makes more sense.
I have gone to their Instagram to see if, do they have hey, look, we're with Mo Sider. We sold them this Porsche. It's not there.
How many followers do they have?
616.
Meh.
What?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Did they put it in their story? I understand
I assume,
the principle
yeah.
of it, but like the draw is you need to get it on Siders.
The draw is to also have it on yours for people looking back and like, what if they don't know that Sider only put this on his story? I went to Sider's feed and it's not there.
Are you about to dox the best one that we've seen?
That's the best one. Jesse.
It might be a 4.5
Jesse.
because this doesn't live anywhere outside of the screenshotted Instagram story.
Jesse.
If you wanted to find this right now, you could only find it in. I found it. There was an article that also wrote about the Porsche.
Is someone else taking NHL Car Watch?
Might have been SpawnCon, but it doesn't live on Instagram on either of their Instagram pages, which I think is a sin.
That is right.
Yes.
But they probably were. How many followers does Moritz have? Do we know?
Oh, Mo, he's got tons.
Because here's the thing: stories are valued in the influencing world less than your tile and your reels.
124.
124,000?
Yeah.
I actually thought it would have been higher than that. But
Because this disappeared. This happened like 2 days ago.
yeah, they should have pushed for if he had like 1 million followers, I'd be like, okay, I can understand a story being enough. But yeah, you need to be posting that. That's Detroit North. That's bad social media practice. Put it on your page.
Jesse's right.
He is right.
4.75.
Yep.
No, but
I'm taking a quarter tire.
Put his number in it.
4 point. What's his
what
number?
is his number?
The Sider's number? I don't know it off by heart.
It's
actually.
a weird. Doesn't he have a weird number?
53.
He does have a weird number.
Yeah.
4.53. 4.753. There it is.
4.53 is good.
All right.
Also, Porsche Detroit North. We had the shoehorn-o-meter on our VIP episode. If you're not a member of SDP VIP, go subscribe. You get an extra episode every week.
Get good.
Adam said that Steve was a 10 out of 10 on the shoehorn-o-meter to end last show. Where does this rank on the shoehorn-o-meter? There's a post by Porsche Detroit North. It is of a all-electric Macan outside of Little Caesars Arena. And they wrote, home to the Detroit Red Wings, the Pistons, and unforgettable concerts, Little Caesars Arena is buzzing with excitement, and the Macan EV is joining the action. Just like the thrill of the game nights and live performances, the Macan EV delivers power, agility, and innovative electric energy.
Forget the shoehorn-o-meter. Can we get the I'm not reading all that meter?
That's nice for you.
O-meter.
Or that's sad, but I'm not reading all that.
Yeah. I'm happy for you though, or sorry that happened.
Their ability to relate an electric car to an arena it's outstanding.
Yeah,
Admirable.
Well, so clearly
Admirable.
they're a season sponsor at Little Caesars, which is great. I would say that whoever writes that copy, I want you to speak to a human being the next time. That's like a really. This is the thing, man. Like sometimes when people write these posts, I'm like, who is looking at that and going, well, shit, now I need a Macan. A Macan EV. If you've got that kind of money, I bet that is a spectacular buy for you.
Oh,
Porsche
yeah.
is a great brand.
No.
They're
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. But like that is not going to get somebody with that kind of money to go, you know what? You've converted me.
Yeah.
It's just like Little Caesars.
No,
It's brand reinforcement.
It's reinforcement.
It's brand reinforcement, but it's not doing a good job.
And you know what?
Rhetoric. It's jargon.
No,
it's garbage.
I don't have enough money for a Porsche Macan. But if I ever get it, they just planted a seed today. Shut up.
No,
I
you're
also-
gonna jump in and you're gonna be like, damn, it's electric in here, like the energy at Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah,
for
like
the
what?
last place Pistons. For the last place Pistons. Like, come on, man.
Nobody has ever had that thought in their mind.
Yeah, they have.
Never.
Maddie,
Now, wait.
Maddie, you cut the clips for all of our social media for the SDP. Like you do the social stuff.
Yeah.
How are you rating this caption here for Porsche Detroit North and the Macan and Little Caesars?
First of all the hashtags, like, it's giving boomer.
It's
Oh, no!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
No
a waste
comments.
of space. Nobody does that many hashtags.
No comments.
Should I like it?
A Gen Z just
No, yeah, I
Should I like
absolutely
this?
should like it. Jesse is and others.
Can you
now.
comment?
Jesse, yeah.
Okay. What do we want to write?
just say.
I'm getting a Macan now.
No.
Wow. No, just
That's
say.
mean.
Just say, wow, I should get one.
Should I? No, that seems mean.
Wow. No,
wow, no,
wow.
no.
That is electric. and put a star on, put an asterisk on either side of is.
It has to be.
No.
caps.
No,
Caps on
see,
is.
that's just, whoa, that is electric.
Like this?
No. Asterisk.
Oh.
You ever used a keyboard before?
yeah,
It's giving
no.
boomer.
I wasn't listening.
There, that is electric. Exclamation mark.
Just one?
And no. Okay, now I've decided to make this old. Put a car emoji.
Okay. Let me see.
Can you
what's
do
the
that?
emoji shortcut? There we go.
There you go.
That's giving boomer, Jesse. Type in car.
What do you mean?
And now use the first thing that
Giving
comes
boomer?
up. There you go. Wow, that is electric.
Everybody can now go to the Detroit North
Post.
Instagram page.
Oh,
and
you know,
Jesse's
post?
comment.
Yeah.
By the way, if you are listening
Okay,
and
there
you
we
don't like Jesse's comment, I'm gonna be so.
I'm gonna
mad.
go like it right now. I'm gonna go like it.
They're gonna be so. I feel
Sorry.
bad.
No,
I feel bad.
Don't. It's dude. We're drawing attention to their ad.
They're gonna be so
We're gonna
confused.
be thrilled. Are you kidding me?
What's their Instagram again? Like a bunch of underscores?
Maddie,
Yeah,
don't like it.
It's boomer. It's Porsche _ Detroit _ North.
Who's
my
using
God.
underscores anymore, Steve?
I really want to see how many likes we can get on this.
fast.
Hopefully people will listen.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Don't like just like the comment.
Like the comment.
Oh, I'm liking both.
Porsche _ Detroit. Why
All right, I'm
North?
liking the comment too. Where
Should
is it?
people
North
should
Detroit.
people reply with anything to the comment?
I'm going to do it.
just say, "Wow, me too," or
No, that doesn't make sense.
no. You have to have some sort of electric pun in there.
There's already 2 likes.
Well, I like.
Oh,
it.
that's Steven.
Oh,
Adams.
okay.
I did
okay.
it.
Steven Adams.
You have to have some sort of something with electricity, or because the whole thing is electric and like, man, you know what I mean. That's what it has to be.
You're not giving me anything.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what to say. Come up with
What?
something.
No, I thought we were coming up with something.
Well, no, I think other.
No, okay, so my comment.
Steve, I'll leave
Here,
the
I'm
ideas
gonna write.
to you.
I'm gonna
Wait,
write,
refresh it.
I sure can feel the buzz.
My comment. Oh yeah. So
bring it
here,
up.
I'll
Oh,
send
okay,
it.
hold on.
There, I sent it. So now you can refresh it and put it on the screen because I think I executed it very well. Jesse, do it now, or I'm leaving this room. I swear to God.
This is great.
I responded, couldn't have said it better myself. Self-send. Hands up emoji. It's giving proud father. Couldn't have said it better myself. Self-send. Hands up emoji.
Adam's loving this.
By the way, can we just talk about what an enormous flex it is to have a Mike's Pizza at the bottom of Little
Yeah.
Caesars Arena? Good for
what is
Mike's
Mike's
Pizza.
Pizza? Well,
I don't know, but they got a pizza place in an arena named after a pizza place.
Well, Mike, isn't he the owner? Wasn't he the owner that?
Oh, Mike Illich.
Yeah, that's Mike Illich.
That's still a flex because he owns the place.
I also want to say, and I'm going to say this on no negative comments. This is supposed to be fun. Don't be an
Yes.
asshole. Okay.
Don't be an asshole.
All right.
Preference.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey. Listen, asshole.
Don't be
All right,
you.
don't be an asshole. Nothing, but
Adam,
I
this-
only
Adam,
want to
you-
see
this
positive
is too
comments.
far.
This is
too
my.
far.
Do not leave that. Do not take that down.
This is too far.
I
No, it's
only
not.
want to see positive comments. about this electric vehicle.
Dude, we are doing. They're gonna reach out and be like, "Thank you." We're giving.
Are
this
they?
Post, yes, we're giving this post so much play. Are you kidding me? Come on now.
Talking to the mic. Talking to the mic.
Sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I took my headphones off because my ears get hot when I laugh too hard. So I was laughing so hard. I'm like, my ears are getting really hot in here.
Like
so.
sweating?
No, listen. This is why this is not a bad integration. It's
No,
just
I
not
want to talk
great
about
copy.
your sweaty ears.
You want to talk about my sweaty ears?
How do I delete this? Siri, how do I delete this? Send.
All right. No, this is fun.
The point is to keep it fun, everybody. Keep it fun. Anybody that says this segment isn't the greatest segment we've ever done, you don't know what the
It's
hell
pretty
you're
good.
arguing! You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It's pretty good.
Anyway,
it is.
anything else, Jess?
I'm going to like Steve's comment.
I am too, actually. Porsche, Detroit North. Going back to it. I want to go to Mike's Pizza. Can we drive down to Detroit and go do a tour of Porsche Detroit North?
I'm gonna do the most boomer thing where it's just on a comment you start having a personal conversation.
Okay.
So I'm gonna write. Do you know Dan from where should we do? From the range?
No. Where did they have the Winter Classic in 2014? Ann Arbor.
Oh.
Do you know Dan from Ann Arbor? Yeah, and I think Ann Arbor spelled wrong.
take
No,
these
that's
No, it's
perfect.
good. It's good.
That's perfect.
My headphones are coming off in a
Do you know Dan from Ann Arbor?
sweat coming here? It's ridiculous.
So you sent it? All right, we're done. So I'm gonna reply. Sorry, no.
I love this so much.
Did you reply? Here, let me refresh.
I did reply. I was.
And then I know what I'm gonna write.
This isn't even for the audience anymore.
No,
like,
it's
I'm
just
just
for
having
us.
too much
He
fun.
said sorry, no, and I'm gonna
For the
say
4 people in this room.
okay. Period.
Yes, perfection. No notes. Excellent. Great.
Amazing.
All right. I'm sorry, Detroit North Porsche. We're having a little fun today.
Hey, if you need a great electric vehicle, Detroit Porsche North.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.